What's up, everyone? Welcome to the special hour. This is the first episode that will be dropping in 2026. I can't believe it's 2026 now. That's crazy. We skipped last week. We went to take a quick break to, rejuvenate ourselves for the new year, but we are back. We are back stronger than ever. And as always, I am here with my co-host, DonovanDud. What's up, Donovan?
Hi there. It's Donovan, and welcome to episode 27. It'd be really cool if it was 26, but it doesn't matter. I can't believe we made it this far. Anyways, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you as well, Donovan. We said that. So actually, we literally forgot to say Happy New Year's to each other on New Year's Day. So this is fake. Live right now. You're just as fake as I am, Donovan. Okay, but it's all good because we rectified that now. So it is officially a Happy New Year. Donovan, did you do anything to celebrate the New Year?
What I did, I just hung out with my brother and we just watched Chance the Rapper yap about stuff on the New Year's Day thing, and saw New York, the ball drop, just fun stuff. Anything that you did?
Not really. I didn't do anything too interesting. I've talked about this on the show before, but I feel like I'm relatively like a boring person. I don't. Like every once in a while, me and my friends will celebrate like a holiday with like a kickback or something, but I don't know. I didn't do anything too crazy this year, unfortunately. So if anyone was like, I wonder what MrDean was up to on New Year's, hopefully I didn't disappoint too much.
I was hanging out with some friends. Unfortunately, they were busy building something with like ChatGPT and some breadboard stuff. They were making like some sensor, some geeky stuff. I had no idea what they were doing, but it was unfortunately too late in the night when we started doing this because they took forever to build that thing, and they started drinking. I couldn't drink because I'm like, man, I gotta drive home. But we watched Cars 2. That movie is nutty.
Fuck that movie.
You don't
Fuck
like
that
it?
Movie.
That movie's so hilariously stupid.
Have we never talked about this on the podcast before?
Cars 2?
Maybe not. No, well, so this hot take incoming. Cover your ears if you're going to be offended by this. I don't even really like Cars in general. But Cars 2 is like probably my least favorite Pixar movie that I've seen. Damn. Maybe. No, okay, there might be worse. I don't know. But
I just think it's hilarious, especially when you think about it.
You know what? Okay, maybe if I rewatch the movie and just embrace how stupid it is, maybe I'll like enjoy it. It's also because Cars 2 is the Mater movie, and I don't like Mater, so yeah, that might be part of the problem.
My friend, he's watched Cars 1, doesn't know much about Cars 2, so it was like tonal whiplash. He's like,
it's a completely different movie.
I thought McQueen was the main character.
Yeah, no, I thought so too, Donovan. McQueen is not the main character in Cars 2.
Anything else that you've done over these past few weeks on your break?
I feel like the past 2 weeks has been relatively eventful. I started playing Minecraft again.
The 2-week Minecraft phase?
Yeah, another 2-week Minecraft phase has officially commenced, so that happened. Other than that, though, just been like, on the grind on YouTube. I did start working out consistently again. That's good. Because, back in October, November, I was working out every day. And then whenever I moved back to my house and I wasn't at the gym I normally go to, I started slacking off a little bit low key, but now I'm back to, actually getting those gains in. So, I got to beat the gamer allegations.
Yeah, beating the gamer allegations, going outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Next, you're going to say, I took a shower.
I actually just took a shower before recording this right now. So, it's funny that you say that. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, do you want to go ahead and get into our regularly scheduled programming, Donovan?
Oh, yeah, wait. This is a video game podcast? Hold on.
Yeah, well, it especially is funny that you say that because this episode, you're going to have an extended topic that is not gaming related. But we'll wait until after the special selects to get into that. So, Donovan, have you been playing anything over the past, 2 weeks or so?
Yes. So, I've been playing... I got this game last Christmas... But I've been playing
I gave you my heart. But,
I haven't heard much Mariah Carey this year, which might be
so Donovan, it's funny because that's actually
that's
not
right.
Yeah, that
I know. I'm cultured, I swear. But back on the topic of gaming, I got this game last year, but I decided to finally just finish my playthrough. It is Devil May Cry 5. That game it's fun. It's so unserious. It's really funny. and it's just hype and aura moments. That's the story. That's all I can give you. It's hype and aura moments. Why do things happen? I don't know. It's cool. I enjoyed my time with it. It was really short. It's like I beat the game in 8 hours, and before I restarted my playthrough, I was like 3 hours in, so I played the game for 4 more hours and I was just finished. Like the ending, I kind of got like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond syndrome, where I'm like, wait, that's it? Wait, we're not done here. Yeah, wait, where's the rest? So now I'm like, so where's Devil May Cry 6, huh? Where is it, Capcom? If you've played Bayonetta, it's basically that. The characters are very memorable. They're fun. Dante is awesome. Virgil is a edgelord. Nero is the kid that's trying to prove himself, and sometimes he fails miserably. But yeah, fun time. I don't know why I compared this to like Stellar Blade, even though they're a little bit different, but they're still like action games. I low-key kind of fucked with Stellar Blade a little bit more, maybe because it just had a much more interesting scenario. The only problems that I had with Stellar Blade is that the characters are so generic. I couldn't tell you a single sentence Eve, Adam, or Lily spoke, but with like Dante, Nero, and Virgil, I could endlessly quote them, like Jackpot, or there's like they have funny jokes in Devil May Cry. It's very memorable, which is not what Stellar Blade is. I don't know why I ranted about Stellar Blade. It had nothing. I didn't even play it this year. But what else did I play? What else did I play? Oh, Hades 2. This game is awesome. This game is so fun. I am pouring so many hours into it. Do you know what, have you played a roguelike before?
I've played a roguelike. I've not played Hades 2, though.
Well, for those that don't know, it's basically, you have to trek through all these, different locations, and whenever you die, you basically have to restart. But the catch is that you're getting better and better each time, and you're getting stronger and stronger. Yeah, Hades 2, such a fun gameplay loop. All the gods are very fun, memorable. Melanoi is very cool. Just very fun. There are like zero flaws with that game. I cannot tell you a single flaw of Hades 2. It's incredibly fun. I don't have much to say because I didn't finish it, but yeah, that's been eating up a lot of my time. Very great game. I could see why it was nominated for Game of the Year. It's an incredible indie game. And like, wow. I've been waiting a little bit for this game. I remember trying to wishlist this on Steam, or I remember trying to get the first game, and then like, oh, Hades 2 is coming out soon. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just wait for Hades 2, and it's finally here, and I'm absolutely loving it. But that's enough of me. What about you?
Yeah, so mainly what I've been playing the past week is finally, because I have not had footage of this game like literally ever, and I finally was like, all right, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna record the whole game, Breath of the Wild Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I forgot how good Breath of the Wild is. I'm sorry, Ivanavi. I'm sorry, any of the other Breath of the Wild, non-believers we have on the channel. But like, the game is so fun. Like, honestly, I think I've already talked extensively about Breath of the Wild on the podcast, so I won't harp on it too much. But I finally did like actually beat Calamity Ganon and Dark Beast Ganon in this playthrough for footage.
You never? Oh,
but
did you?
I beat them,
okay.
But the only time I had beat them prior was whenever the game first came out. Mm-hmm. So I kind of forgot what my thoughts on like Hyrule Castle and basically everything in game was. Because normally whenever I would replay Breath of the Wild, I would like go through the Divine Beast, get a few Korok seeds, just like do like that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't actually beat the game. This time around, though, I did. I forgot about low-key, like low-genuinely. I love saying low-genuinely. I forgot
just
about
in our vocab now.
Yeah, this is like the 10th episode in a row where brain rot has infected the podcast. No, I forgot low-genuinely how much I like didn't struggle with that final fight. Because like as long as you get the Divine Beast and you have enough like heart containers, and most importantly, you know how to parry and like dodge attacks, that final fight is not hard at all. Especially Dark Beast Ganon. I feel like Dark Beast Ganon is there more so to give you like a big climactic finish of the game, more so than like a difficult final boss. But despite that, I still had a lot of fun with it. especially with the Nintendo Switch 2 edition with the glorious 60 frames per second, because, as a Nintendo gamer, it's kind of like uncharted territory.
Yeah,
to me.
what even are frames? What are FPS?
But aside from playing Breath of the Wild, another kind of gaming related thing, but not gaming at the same time, I finally watched The Last of Us, the show. Both season 1 and 2. I watched it with my mom. I actually never played The Last of Us, either part 1 or part 2. I always kind of knew the basics of the story and like why people loved it, but I never actually played it for myself. So my first exposure to the story was actually with the show. So, whenever people are talking about their thoughts on the show, oftentimes they're comparing it to the game, how it lives up to the source material. I don't have that vantage point. I'm just kind of judging it as a show itself. And for what it was, season 1, and honestly, like impeccable. As a show itself, I thought like the acting from both Pedro and Bella Ramsey. I know a lot of people don't like Bella Ramsey as Ellie. I don't know how Ellie fully is in the game, but I thought Bella did a really good job. I thought both, like their chemistry together was fantastic. Of course, the story itself, everyone already knows. The Last of Us is like one of the greatest stories that you'll find in media, like period, not only gaming. The one thing that really shocked me was how good the set design was, with both season 1 and season 2. Like, it's obvious that HBO like allocated the budget towards the sets, and like it's crazy how well they did at creating these like dilapidated versions of like real world locations. Like in season 2, they go to Seattle. Season 1, they spend a little bit of time in like Kansas City, obviously Boston. So yeah, honestly, I had a lot of fun with The Last of Us. I can see why some people don't like season 2 as much, but for me, it has less to do with like how it draws in from the game and more so with like, I wish they developed Abby more as a character in season 2, but I don't want to dig too deep into it, especially because this isn't the only show we're talking about today. But yeah, Donovan, did you ever watch the Last of Us?
I've watched them. I don't really like season 2. I feel like season 2 kind of missed the point with Ellie, and also like Ellie Ramsey, she looks. She kind of is the same age. She just aged up like 2 years, but in the game, she's like it's like I think like 8 years, maybe 10 years.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I don't. It just felt underwhelming and lacking compared to the actual game, and also the fact that they're splitting this one singular story into multiple seasons. It's an interesting choice because the next season, I presume, it's going to be about Abby. Do you know anything about Abby?
Well, I don't know because I haven't played the game. I don't know where exactly Abby's character is going. All I do know is that I didn't really give a fuck about Abby throughout the whole season because like Abby was only really in like 2 episodes.
So
and you don't see anything else about her.
I assume that season 3 is going to be Abby's perspective because how it goes in the game is that it goes back in time, which is kind of a big problem people have with the game.
But it's crazy though. Like I get what you're saying. Like obviously season 3 is where they're gonna flesh out Abby's character, but it's crazy to make us wait 2 years for a 3rd season about a character that as of right now I don't have any attachment to. So like I'm gonna watch season 3 whenever it comes out, probably in like 2 years or so. But like as of right now, I'm not like on the edge of my seat. You know what I mean? Like I still enjoyed it, but
I heard there's gonna be 4 seasons, so I'm like, okay.
It's gonna be 4?
So the 3rd season is gonna be the flashback with Abby. So then is season 4 gonna pick up where season 2 left off and just continue the story from there really and get to the epilogue of The Last of Us Part 2? Which, wow, that is a really ballsy and stupid move. Imagine basically you had to wait one whole season to finally start the story again in chronological order.
Wait, so you're telling me that in season 2 you didn't like Ellie's character, Donovan? You didn't like how she said, "Wait, I'm going to be a dad"?
That wasn't
that was such great writing.
I forgot about that.
That was such fantastic.
I'm just saying, like, Ellie is supposed to go down this revenge-fueled path, and in the show, it feels like she feels a lot more remorse than she's supposed to in the game.
Yeah, I agree because
I completely forgot about the I'm gonna be a dad scene.
I was I was looking at reviews of season 2 because I was trying to see like how they did adapting the game to the show, and that was one of the points I saw brought up a lot about how in the game, like you said, Ellie's much more vengeful about, spoiler alert, but Joel's death. And yeah, I agree that the way they did it in the show is like she kept flip-flopping between being angry about it and then being like I don't know, should I have done that?
So Ellie,
and then at the
Ellie's she's a little bit stupid and a little bit of an asshole in this season.
Well, and it's like towards the end, whenever what was the person that she killed and the one that was pregnant? What was her name?
I forgot. Mel? Is that her name?
Mel, yeah. Whenever she was talking to Mel, and I think it was Mel that she said this to, and she was like, well, I didn't mean... No, she was talking to Abby. I'm stupid. She was talking to Abby, and she was like, oh, I didn't mean to kill your friends. And I was like, yeah, the fuck you did. What do you... I was like, what do you mean?
That was the whole point.
But I still think, in my opinion, Bella Ramsey did a good job, though. I think the main problem was the writing.
Yeah.
That's just fair. My... I don't know, because I'm seeing a lot of people as I'm looking into these reviews being like Bella Ramsey's ass, and I was like, no, I think she did a good job terrible. With like what she was given. Yeah,
there are worse actors. My parents watched the shows. They don't know anything about video games. If they touched the controller, they would disintegrate. So I knew what happened in the games. So I'm like, guess what happens in season 2? I won't spoil it. And then when they saw Joel's death, they're like, they kind of had the same reaction as gamers had in 2020, where they're like, oh, Joel's dead, really? I don't really want to watch the show anymore. But I'm telling them like, no, the point is that Ellie is the main character now, and it starts off this whole revenge-fueled just journey.
Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring up that I watched The Last of Us because I know that's obviously kind of related to gaming. So yes. Yeah.
Do you have any more? I actually have one more.
One more what? Special select?
Yeah. Since you brought up a show, I'll bring up a movie. All right. It's Avatar: Fire and Ash. That movie's awesome. I really liked it. If you need an excuse to go to the movie theaters, like this movie is it. My only problems with the movie is that if you know anything about the Avatar movies, which maybe like 2 people in this podcast and like watching this podcast know, it feels very similar to the second one, but I feel like it's a little bit like Tears of the Kingdom syndrome, where it's like, yeah, it feels similar, but the things that it repeats, it kind of does better. I think it's a super fun movie. And the parts that the movie does do that is unique to its story, it's so cool. And like, you know what? Maybe I am an Avatar believer now. And this movie is looking to once again be one of the most successful movies ever made, which is a little crazy. How does Avatar keep doing it? I don't know. But I feel like this movie is, unlike, I don't know, Marvel movies where, it's adapting an already existing story. It's these characters that have been existing forever, and like there's always going to be an Avengers movie. But with Avatar, I feel like it's this blockbuster that is this one dude's dream. It is an original story that I feel like is missing a lot from modern blockbusters today. So props to you, James Cameron.
Yeah, shout out James Cameron. I know he obviously needs the special hours.
He's very poor. We're giving him a little bit more, of a shout out for exposure.
We just like to be grounded and down to earth. You know what I mean, help our fellow movie directors that need their spotlight. Mm-hmm. All right, so Donovan, do you want to talk about Stranger Things?
Oh, yay! My favorite video game show.
Yeah, I don't even know where the fuck to start with this. So we're gonna. I guess we're just gonna talk about season 5 because, like, honestly, we could honestly spend a whole 2-hour episode talking about season 5. We'll try our best to keep things like relatively concise, but like I don't even know where to start with this. Like, take your pick, Donovan. What aspect of season 5 do you want to rant about?
Let's talk about the finale. That's most fresh in my mind. You like it?
Okay. I mean, I have mixed thoughts. Overall, I would say I don't. I guess the main reason why, and this is, there's so many memes. I think we've been sending reels about this, but it's about how like the Duffer Brothers are just incapable of ending a story, apparently, because like every single aspect of, oh, by the way, spoiler alert, in case if no one's watched season 5 yet. I've seen so many memes about this where it's like, one of the conclusions to the character arcs, so an interviewer will ask the Duffer Brothers about like, okay, so like, yeah, where is this character going to end up? And they're like, oh, I don't know. We just kind of wanted to leave it up to the fans. And I'm like, shut up. Like, what do you mean? Like,
wow. God, what was I going to say? I remember one scene where Henry or Vecna was talking about the Mind Flayer, and he's like, we are, and I just oddly said Venom. We are Venom, and then the second thought in my head was we are Charlie Kirk.
Oh god.
Anyways, you remember that rock thing in the finale? Well, there's going to be a spin-off of that.
The rock thing?
Yeah, that evil rock thing for the Mind Flayer. That's apparently going to play a part in the season 5. I mean, no, Stranger Things spin-off. Yay.
Well, I saw that they're going to be doing a spin-off about Nancy Wheeler.
Are.
I think that, or
they're gonna
I don't know if this is
milk
confirmed
these guys
or not.
until they're 90.
Oh yeah. People were complaining about the kid actors being too old in this season. Just wait until they're gonna make a prequel spin-off about like all the main kid characters, and they're gonna keep the same actors. We're gonna literally have like Gaten Matarazzo and Finn Wolfhard at 35 years old playing 10-year-olds.
Just let it end.
Dude, like, yeah, that was my biggest problem with the finale, is how the Duffer Brothers were just copying out with like everything. The worst example of this was Elle's quote unquote death, because like they couldn't even commit to that. Like they had to do the whole Mike being like, well, maybe she's still alive, and I'm like, dude, do
you think she's alive?
Donovan, I don't care.
No, you don't
That's
care.
the thing is, dude, like, I mean, I think, like, look, here's the thing. It's like, they already had a problem of not killing off any characters at all, which meant that there was like no stakes to anything happening ever, because the only characters that would ever be killed off were like side characters that would be introduced within the season. Exhibit A, Eddie. Exhibit B, Bob. Exhibit C, like Barb. Like, it's like the only character that they've almost killed off was Hopper, and then they just brought him back for no reason. Like, I still think Hopper should have died in season 3, and I also still think that Max, as much as I like Sadie Sink, I still think that Max should have died in season 4. I think that Elle should be. I think she is dead. But I don't even think that they should be doing this whole like loose end thing where it's like, well, maybe she's happy and alive, because it's like, well, then that kind of devalues, in my opinion, the whole interaction that she had with Mike, which, by the way, I know we've been making fun of this with each other, but the acting in this season has been the acting has been questionable at best in this season.
When Elle died, I audibly laughed. That is not a good thing. In terms of like Hopper dying, he already had a fake out death once, so that's how I knew, like, all right, he's not gonna die. There's no way they fake out death him once and then they kill him. That's no.
Yeah.
Or they do another fake out death. Like, nah, no. As for like Sadie Sink's character, Max, in the last season,
Sadie Sink's character.
Yeah. Didn't she go blind? That's what I'm like, oh, so she has her vision back? Oh, okay.
Well, and how did she graduate? Because she was kind of in a coma the past like year and a half.
As for Elle's ending, I think they were trying to get like a Christopher Nolan Inception or The Dark Knight Rises scenario, where it's like they have like this alternate ending where they make the viewers think, but I'm not really thinking about this alternate ending because like, no, Elle's fucking dead. There's no way.
Yeah,
she is dead.
It's just, dude, honestly, like the having this whole Elle might be alive within the characters as like a coping mechanism. It could be interesting, one, if done correctly, which they didn't do correctly, but also, more importantly, it's like, whenever you have the context of the show already not killing off any characters at all, it makes me really annoyed whenever they almost killed someone off, despite having to wait all the way until the finale, but it's like, now we don't even have that, because like they didn't have the balls to actually kill anyone off. I could rant about the acting too, because not, as someone that is definitely not an actor and I suck at acting, there were some moments where, like, I'm gonna be so honest, I think I could have done a better job. and some of the
No, El, no, please don't go. Please don't go.
dude. And no, okay, and we're making fun of Finn Wolfhard right now. I like Finn Wolfhard. Like I think he's a cool guy. Like from what I've seen on interviews and stuff, and he's done good acting in the past on Stranger Things. So I don't know what was up with this. Not only that one scene, but just the season in general. Honestly, most of the kids, the acting from most of the kids, aside from Sadie Sink and maybe Gaten Matarazzo, was pretty bad in my opinion. Like Millie Bobby Brown did one facial expression for the entire season. Yeah, she was literally mewing the entire season. Noah Schnapp did like a pretty shitty job, I'll be honest. Like I think for pretty much the entire season, he delivered every line way too melodramatically to where it became super corny.
The thing with Noah Schnapp is that I feel like he has this raspiness to his voice. It sounds like he's like prepubescent still. He sounds so dry, and his voice is like it feels like it's cracking all the time. His dry performance, I'd like compare it to like sorry Star Wars fans, Hayden Christensen in like episode 2.
Here we go.
Where they're so like
sand is coarse and it's
coarse, rough, and it's so dry, and like with Noah Schnapp, he's like, you were a victim. You can stop this. It's like the same tone. It's like,
no,
man.
It's just, dude, every line, literally like basically every line Noah Schnapp delivered in this entire season, I was like, honestly, like having to hold back laughter because like he was being so melodramatic. Like don't even get me started on like the scenes like in the finale where he was either talking to Henry or whenever he would like rub his neck and be like, guys, he's here. And I was like, bro, like, shut up.
Bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. And like, I don't feel bad because also like Noah Schnapp's like kind of not really the best person either. So
okay, the concept of Vecna showing an alternate reality that will deter Will's character. Maybe Will's character will go in a dark place. The alternate reality Vecna showed was just probably Will or his friends figuring out he was gay and them like turning them backs on them, which is like, it's so like, Will, I'm gonna tell them you're gay. I'm gonna tell them, like, it's like the concept of that is so hilarious. It's like,
no, what I love is the concept of how Vecna, it is now canon that Vecna is homophobic. That is so funny to me.
Yeah, and it's like these characters have never expressed homophobia, so like I think they'd be chill, and they were chill about it. So like there was zero stakes. If Steve was openly homophobic, then I'd be like, uh-oh, Steve's gonna beat his ass if this came out. But
literally. No, because also it's like everything that the show has shown us from all of these characters is that they're all like the last people I would expect to be homophobic, even in the 80s, in a small town like Hawkins. Yeah. Like we literally saw Steve. Like if there was one character I thought it would be Steve Harrington, especially like in the earlier seasons. Steve Harrington was cool with it. So like the fact that even like they were showing us about how literally whenever Will had his coming out scene, which by the way, just to quickly touch on the coming out scene because apparently that's like super controversial.
And me.
And me. Dude, even Noah Schnapp was talking about how he was like, are we sure this is gonna work? And it didn't. But I'm not upset about the idea of making Will gay. I think that they did drag it on way too much, and Will should have came out like late season 4 at the latest. It should have been earlier. It should not have been the right before the end of the world.
Yeah, in my head I'm like, yeah, I know.
That's the thing is, it's like everyone already knew. The fact that the characters didn't know is already crazy. I'm of the opinion that the scene itself in a vacuum was not as bad as everyone is acting like it is. I don't think it was done perfectly. I still think that the final battle should not have been shorter than the Will's coming out scene, but that's a conversation for a whole other day. Which, by the way, that final battle was way the fuck too short.
It was the worst Force battle. It was the worst Star Wars battle of all time.
It was so bad. The final battle was honestly the worst part of the whole season.
They pulled a Rise of Skywalker where didn't use one hand, but she used two hands and pushed Vecna to the tooth inside of a monster which has a flat sand surface for some reason.
And I love the line delivery from Winona Ryder where she was like, "You fucked with the wrong family." And she started decapitating.
I think that scene was pretty good. But also it's like Will's mom had literally nothing to do in the battle. Like in my head, I'm like, what is she gonna do?
Dude,
so
Will's. I mean, I like how we got so like I was literally about to talk about Will's coming out scene, and then we just completely got off topic. I'll just quickly touch on the coming out scene. In a vacuum, the scene was like it had its good moments. I think that. Honestly, Noah Schnapp's acting was okay, but that's probably more because Noah is gay in real life. So he probably, if I had to guess, he probably had a somewhat similar experience. Maybe I don't know what his coming out story was like, but I'm assuming he was probably able to tap into that for his performance with Will. So it was almost kind of like method acting in a way. And the writing, in my opinion, wasn't like bad. Like I mean, honestly, like I felt something during that scene. I was like, okay, you know, like I at least can, you know, understand the weight of this situation. Like I said, though, it should not have come literally right before the final battle, because also like one of the big problems of this entire season, and I forgot what the channel was where I watched a review about it, but there was kind of this disconnect between telling and not showing, where all the characters would.
And
dude, no, well, that too, yeah. Because all the characters, anytime they were explaining something, they were like, it would be like Dustin it'd be like Erica looking at a microwave popping popcorn, and then she'd be like, "Wait," it was so cliche. But that's not even what I was referring to. I was gonna say throughout the season, you have all the characters being like, you know, this is the end of the world. We need to act fast. You know, like whatever I think it was like February 6th or whatever the day was, where it was like, okay, we know this is going to be in the end of the world. So you would think that the characters would be all, you know, in a rush, you know, we got to get shit done. But no, in reality, you have like us taking the time for all of these like really irrelevant scenes and it just, there's like no urgency to the way the characters are interacting. The worst offender of this by far was the scene of Max and Holly escaping that sequence where they literally stopped and had like a 10-minute conversation. And I was like, you're telling me that at no point on the way here you guys talked about this? You waited until right before, like, where Vecna could just appear and literally like just strangle you to death?
Telling my TV, yo, hurry up. Yeah, no, you're gonna die.
I don't, dude, honestly, like, there's so many complaints I have about, there's also just like all the random like plot holes. Like, why were there no Demogorgons at the final battle?
Taking a smoke break.
By the way, speaking of Will, shouldn't Will be dead? Like, this is something I feel like not enough people are talking about, because it's like they made such a big deal about how Will is connected to the hive mind. So any pain that Vecna or the mind flayer feels, he feels. But then all of a sudden, that's just gone.
Well, according to the Duffer Brothers, they said Will is feeling that pain, but we'd rather focus on the actual battle, so it happens off screen.
Yeah, so that's dumb as fuck. That's literally so stupid. Oh no, Donovan, it's because Will came out, so now he's just good. He's good. Yeah. Even though he could still feel Vecna, like his presence after he came out, so that doesn't even explain it. I don't know. I still feel like that makes no sense.
So what was the Mind Flayer's plan? Bringing
I don't know.
Other world into the real world, and then what? Like eating
to
people?
make a new world. Okay. Because I will say, one of my favorite. No, I will say, because I'm actually a defender of season 4. I like season 4. And one of my favorite moments from season 4 was Henry's whole monologue where he was talking about, it was like, all humans, they're born and then they have the ticking time clock where it's moments, days, hours. And then, like, you know, he has that whole monologue where it's like, it's low key, like, honestly, Jamie Campbell Bower kind of sells it. Like, despite how corny the dialogue is, like, his act, and I will say, Jamie is the best actor by far in this season.
Yeah,
like
he should be his Joker.
Yeah, no, his performance as both Henry, my favorite character, Mr. What's-It, and Vecna, honestly are really good. So shout out Jamie Campbell Bower, you know what I mean?
Unfortunately, he used his like venom tendrils to grab Holly, and he
lost to Derek.
He was outmatched by an obese, out of breath kid.
He lost to Derek, Donovan, and this was like suck my dude. Okay, honestly, I'll be honest. At first, I didn't like Derek, but now Derek is unironically like my favorite character.
He's of all time.
Funny, dude. Every time he went like suck my fat one, I was like, dude, this is the funniest character in the show.
And then
no, but it was so funny because
Mike. Dude, like hi, brother-in-law, and like
you're telling me that Vecna lost a tug-of-war match to a 10-year-old right after literally killing the entire military base. Like,
and he was using his like venom tendrils too, so he had more like gripping power, pulling strength. Nah, Derek.
Dude, no, I'm not gonna lie. Derek saying "suck my fat one" was the coldest moment of the whole show. I was like, dude, that is like actually a fire phrase, bro. Like dead ass. Also, can we talk about how our protagonist? Oh, I just bit my tongue. Can we talk about how our protagonist kidnap a whole family and drug them? I feel like people are skipping over that part. Like, isn't that kind of crazy?
Michael Bay Transformers. That's not the wildest thing.
I don't know. It's pretty wild though. Whenever like we literally have a mother who has had to deal with her son being kidnapped and like the trauma with that, and she's just okay with this plan. Like our characters are like, wait, so we're just gonna kidnap a family? Like there has to be another way. And then fucking Joyce is like, I mean, fuck it. Like you got to do what you got to do. And I'm like, shouldn't you of all people be like trying to figure out another solution to this? Like, dude, like honestly, they were causing so much property damage with Derek. I forgot their last name, but Derek's family's house. And I was like, dude. And plus, it was the scene where Erica's friend wouldn't eat the food, so she had to literally get a syringe and be like, she was like, and you should have eaten your dessert, and then she just fucking like drugged her right. I was like, oh my,
that's the chaos I live for. There's just a lot of plot holes, questions, unanswered questions. What happened to the military? I hated the military.
No, dead ass.
They had Sarah Connor's actress.
Dude, the military was there for no reason. They literally were there for no reason at all. They did not have to be involved in this at all.
Elle's dead? Oh, time to leave.
I sent you a reel about this, dude. Remember how literally like they were all like, fuck. And dude, honestly, like Hopper, like I know you killed all of our men and you like committed war crimes against the country. And I know that you've basically been dead the past 2 years, but no one knows. But like, honestly, dude, you can have your position back. Like you can be chief of police again. And it's just like, dude.
I was audibly saying to the TV with my brother, Hopper, you just left Kali. You could have saved her if you also like, I don't know, dragged her along or carried her too. But the fact that you left her, the fact that he left her was so unavoidable. So Kali's death, yeah, all sad, boo-hoo. But like the one explicit death could have been prevented. That is so funny.
Well, that's just the Duffer Brothers in a nutshell, Donovan.
Yeah, like Hopper did not give a shit about Kali. Maybe that's it. Maybe he just didn't care, which maybe the Duffer Brothers probably explained. I don't know.
Also, why is the Upside Down just not scary anymore? Like, do you remember in season 1? Like, yeah, where are the bats that literally mauled Eddie to death? Are they just, they're just bored now. They're just gone. They're just like, whatever. Remember season 1? Whenever, dude, the characters, they would have to like wear a whole like ventilator suit and shit. Or not a ventilator, a hazmat suit. I mean, to go into the Upside Down, and like it was actually scary back then.
The Upside Down is just like O-Block.
Yeah, it's just like O-Block. No, like one of my favorite moments in the entire show is like season 1, whenever Nancy gets like stuck in the Upside Down and it's like a cliffhanger. Dude, like that was like an actually tense moment. But now the characters are just so nonchalant about going to the Upside Down, and they like it's not like actually creepy anymore. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, dude, like there's just so much to rant about. Because like season 1 of Stranger Things is like one of my favorite seasons of any show ever. Like I love that season. And it's just like the show has just like slowly gotten worse. and then season 4 was like pretty good. I still had my problems with season 4. Like I thought that the whole subplot in Russia was really stupid. but like everything that was going on in Hawkins in season 4 with Vecna and everything, I thought was cool.
I agree.
But yeah, no, season 5 overall was like ass.
What do you think about the epilogue?
Oh, you mean like the conclusion of all the characters? So I think that Joyce and Hopper getting married is cute, but like, I mean, we all knew that was gonna happen, so it didn't really punch me as hard as maybe it punched other people. The epilogue with our teenagers all kind of like on the rooftop, I thought was cool, and it was a cool homage to 80s, to some like 80s movies that did a similar thing. I thought it was cool how they were all kind of like talking about where they were in life, and it was a very bittersweet moment where they were all having a kind of like a Stand By Me moment where they were acknowledging the fact that they were growing up. The epilogue segment where they were playing Dungeons and Dragons was, I saw some people liked it. I didn't really feel anything with it. Like, first of all, the graduation scene where Dustin did what Eddie said he was gonna do, and he was like, fuck school, the principal can suck my fat one, you know what I mean? Like, that whole scene was like kind of cute, but then it immediately becomes like the lamest shit ever whenever the popular girl walks up and she's like, do you guys want to come to our party? And all the kids are like, dude, honestly, like that's fire, like we should go. And then Mike is like, fucking Mike is like, I got a better idea. It's like, dude, like I know these kids are losers, but it's like at least let me think that they're cool. You know what I mean? Like, this is the lamest shit.
I thought the endings, they're all very sweet, including the Dungeons and Dragons one, especially where the kids come in and basically take the main characters' place. It's like passing on the torch, and like the idea of Elle living, that's a good idea on paper. If they made it more convincing that Elle could have had a possibility of living, I'd be happy with it. But it wasn't. Yeah. But I think my biggest problem is that they just played it too safe. It's a very safe ending, so you automatically get good boy points for being safe. You're satisfying the masses, but it's not really pushing anything too extraordinary. It's just like, oh yeah, that's pretty expected.
Isn't like everything about recent Stranger Things playing it safe though? Like that did not surprise me that they would play it safe. Wow, we talked about this for so long. Okay, let's end this segment on a positive note though. Is there anything nice we can say about season 5? I will say I liked the dynamic. Well, at first I didn't like it, but I liked how they concluded Dustin and Steve's whole like feud. Specifically, like what the only scene to my knowledge that I can remember that almost made me tear up a little bit, not fully, but almost, is whenever they were in the Upside Down and Dustin was like begging Steve to not use the ladder to go up because he didn't want to lose him, like he lost Eddie, and then you see the ladder fall down. And like they're like hugging each other, and it's like, okay, you know what? Like I'll as much as I don't like the writing in this season, that did kind of get me. And also, I like I said, Gaten Matarazzo he wasn't like amazing as Dustin, because I think more of the issues with Dustin was the writing, not his performance. But both him and Joe Keery are good actors, so like I think that they did a solid job with both of their characters throughout the season. And plus, I'm also just like a Joe Keery fan too, so I'm biased. So was there any other positives? There's got to be something. There's got to be some positive.
The soundtrack.
But that's just Stranger Things. That's always been their strong suit. I will say this is another negative, so sorry to take this whole positive segment, but I saw someone make a reel about this and I was like, you know what, I agree. But they were like, dude, the whole scene of Mike like hugging Elle, it was not powerful enough to use Purple Rain in the background. And I was like, dude, you're so right. Like the fact that they were confident enough to use Purple Rain on like honestly of all the character like deaths where we saw a character like being sad about it, that was by far the weakest one. Like if anything, I was like laughing like whenever that happened. Okay, Donovan, say one nice thing. One nice thing, just one nice thing.
Man, we didn't even talk about. I was thinking of the not engagement scene.
Oh,
that would have been cool if they died. But it left me a little confused and like, oh, okay, well, that's not even a positive.
Well, yeah. So originally, this is another thing where I wish I remember the guy's name that made a review about the season where he brought this up, but it was exactly how I felt. Whenever I was watching that scene, what I thought was happening was they weren't breaking up, but they were basically saying, it was basically Jonathan saying, like, you know, originally I was gonna get engaged with you, like, thinking that it was just gonna fix all of our problems, but, you know, we haven't been communicating these things, so honestly, like, I'm gonna unpropose to you, and then we can actually, like, you know, acknowledge these things that we've been talking about. And you see as they communicate these things, albeit they're really dumb things, to be honest, it's Nancy going like, I don't like the clash. And it's like, okay, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is what we're doing. But even then, despite that, they're communicating their problems. And you can see that they're both genuinely, like, they feel like a weight has been lifted off their shoulder right as they're about to die. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, they're still going to be a thing. But they realized that the lack of communication was the big problem. Getting engaged and married was not just going to magically fix their issues. But then I think the Duffer Brothers came out and they were like, oh yeah, no, they broke up. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh,
I'm like, what? Okay, well, then that undercuts that entire scene then. Now it's like, okay, well then now it's like corny. You know what I mean? Like at first I was like, okay, that's actually a pretty clever way to, like, you know, write that kind of dialogue where they're, you know, still together, but they're, you know, like taking a step back and actually working on their issues. But them breaking up, now it's like, okay, well then now I'm like thinking that this is just goofy. Like I'm gonna unpropose to you. It's
now,
like,
now I'm like, all right, it's not that deep.
yeah, no. And yeah, like you said, it's like the fact that they did, which by the way, can we talk about that? How did they not die whenever Nancy shot like the what was it? She literally shot like the whole matter thing where I forgot what it was called. I'm not a physicist. But she like shot it and it exploded and literally almost caused the entire Upside Down to implode on itself. And Nancy and Jonathan were standing like 50 feet away and somehow they're both just fine.
Yeah, the next shot we see of them is them like perfectly laid out side by side.
I was like, are you kidding me? Like, seriously?
The final fight with the mind flare, no one got a scratch.
Dude, not only did no one get a scratch, but literally you're telling me all those characters of just kids, they literally climbed the entire mountains in like 1 minute. Like, what
they like
fuck?
Stabbed its gooch and like threw like fireballs and molotovs and shotguns at
dude. And plus, and as much as I love Steven Dustin and I love Eddie, I'm not gonna lie, the shot of Dustin being like, for Eddie, you son of a bitch, and then they started stabbing it. I was like, okay, this is so corny. Like, I can't.
No, in my head, I'm like, is this seriously how you're fighting the giant Godzilla spider?
Also, you know what I love too? We're never gonna get off of this segment. Like, we're never gonna. But you know what else I love is how after they defeat Vecna, which by the way, I don't know how they defeated Vecna as easily as they did, considering he killed an entire military. But whatever, we're just gonna put that aside. So they kill Vecna, and then they start helping. They start helping Holly, and it takes them like 2 minutes to start helping all the other kids.
Oh, yeah,
I was watching. Dude, at first I was watching it and I was like, so are they just gonna not help the 11 other kids that are like on the verge of death right now? Like, they're just not gonna help them. But I mean, eventually they did, but I was like, shouldn't they like be right on that? You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't they be? Oh, dude, there's so much to talk about with the fucking season. Like, it was also just so bloated. Like, there was just so much that didn't even need to be there. Like that finale, it did not, like, if it was gonna be 2 hours and a half, the final battle should have been way cooler.
Who was watching this in theaters?
Oh, I feel so bad.
I feel so bad.
Dude, and like, dude, the shot where Steve like almost quote unquote died, and then Jonathan saved him. I was like, who was watching that? And they genuinely thought they were about to kill off Steve like that. Like,
yeah, I didn't believe it for a second.
Yeah, no, not for a second. I immediately knew. I was like, okay, someone's about to save Steve, because it's like the Duffer Brothers are already allergic to the idea of killing off anyone. You think they're gonna kill off literally the character that everyone loves the most in the most random way possible? Like, no,
dude, the Void. It's like the end in that Linkin Park song. But
in the end, it doesn't even matter.
I heard the budget was like 400 million. Avatar 3 had a budget like a little bit more than 400 million, but that movie 90% of the movie is completely CGI. Mostly everything is fake. The water is fake, and it is one of the most beautiful things you will ever see. It is so believable. And then you got Stranger Things, which had 400 million, and it looks like dog piss.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So at first, I remember I DM'd you on Discord, and I was like, I will say the CGI isn't bad in this season. That's like the one compliment I'll give it.
Sorry, I recently watched the greatest CGI movie of all time.
But like looking back in season 5, while some of the CGI is okay, there were so many moments where I was looking at a scene and I was like, oh, they're so obviously using a green screen here, or like the CGI looks ass right here. And it's like, dude, if it's a show where they took 4 years to make the season with a budget of 400 million, like you said, there should not be glaringly obvious moments like this. Like, I'm sorry. My expectations are going to be high.
Maybe the budget was all for those Prince songs.
Yeah. Honestly, they probably used the whole budget to license Purple Rain. And I will say one compliment: the soundtrack in the finale where they brought out some banger songs. I'm not gonna lie. They brought out Pixies with da 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 da, like Here Comes Your Man, and then they had David Bowie with Heroes. That was a fire song choice. Dude, honestly, I will say, even though it would make no sense with the show to use a modern song because it's obviously like 80s nostalgia, if they would have used In the Beginning by Joe, like that would have been a crazy end. Like imagine if the show ended, the credits rolled, and you hear, and when I'm back in Chicago, I feel like I would have started crying. I'm not gonna lie if they would have done that. But anyway. Yeah, so
I think we covered everything.
That was a nice little 30-minute discussion.
Holy crap. The fact that we could talk about more is concerning.
Yeah, that's the worst part about this is like that was not a comprehensive discussion. Like we really could talk about more if we wanted. All right, so originally we were going to talk about like what we want to see Nintendo do with 2026, which probably would have been a much more smart decision, since it actually has to do with this podcast. But I think that we'll probably save that for next week, so that way we can actually not rush that discussion, because if we talk about it now, this
Stranger Things video game.
Yeah, so this is going to be the Stranger Things episode, which is just really funny, but whatever. So do you want to go and answer these questions?
These questions are awesome.
We got some fun questions this week, which just a reminder, if anyone has any questions that they want us to answer, as always, feel free to join the Special Hour Discord server, where we have a channel called Ask the Host, where you can ask us anything you want, whether it be gaming related, not gaming related, whatever's on your mind. So, Donovan, none of these questions are gaming related, just to preface this. These are some of the wackiest questions we've had ever.
This is not a gaming podcast, guys. I'm sorry.
No.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, I actually feel really bad because like 80% of this episode had nothing to do with gaming at all. So this whole episode has been a whole spin-off of the Special Hour, but we'll be back to gaming, don't worry. All right, first question from Rachel. Would you rather freeze to death or burn to death?
Oh my god.
So I imagine burning to death is probably more painful. I would imagine. I guess it probably depends on the temperature of the fire and like the context of like, is it a full body burn where it's fully encompassing you? Like, I don't really know. Like what is the sensation of freezing to death? I mean, obviously no one really knows because like you die, so you can't tell anyone.
I don't want to be Anakin Skywalker. I don't want my Italian sausage to be well done. So
well, technically Anakin Skywalker didn't die though. He burned, but like they managed to revive him.
His life. I think I'd rather Captain America myself. And
that is, plus, yeah, I will say, not to be all brain rot again. But freezing to death is kind of aura, because then you're like suspended, like it's like Captain America where you're like frozen in time, and like imagine like an archaeologist stumbles upon your body and it's fully intact, just frozen, and it's you like, oh, and you gotta like be mogging too. You gotta be
you gotta die in a cool pose.
like the listeners can't see me right now, but just know I'm like doing the whole jawline thing, like looking off to the side, just like doing some aura farming. Oh yeah, okay, that's my answer. I'd rather freeze to death while aura farming. Okay, this is the most unserious episode of this podcast we have ever recorded. All right, next question from Torin. Get this question. How do you know that the universe wasn't created yesterday? We're getting philosophical.
I guess I wouldn't know, but
that's a good question, because it's like, yeah, if we're just in a simulation, how do we know that some future like version of like humanity or aliens didn't just create a simulation and they like implanted all of our memories in us? So this morning, just now, whenever we woke up, they were just like, all right, let's prank them by making them think that they've had this entire life before them, but it's actually just like falsified.
Yeah, right now it's going to be a memory of tomorrow, and like technically we're just watching the memory.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think that outlook on life is both really depressing and delulu. So I think that it's bullshit. Wow, Mr. Dean just dropped delulu in the special.
You
hour.
are more brain rotted than me today.
Donovan, what's your answer though? How do you know?
Truth is, I don't know, but I choose.
Yeah,
to
that's the thing is we don't know.
That
we don't know.
My actions from yesterday were real.
Yeah, so Donovan, I'm actually just a figment of your imagination. I'm going to be honest. I was created by AI. I actually don't give a fuck about you.
Once I take my pills, I think all my friends will disappear. It happens frequently. I don't know why.
Yeah, we're not even friends, Donovan. You're nothing. You're nothing but like
you are
an
just
acquaintance.
Grok AI, and
yeah, you're just a coworker.
Yeah,
that's all you are. You're just a coworker. Yeah, no, Donovan, don't worry. We're brothers, if you will.
Anyways,
right,
another one about death.
Yeah, another philosophical question, for fuck's sake. I'm gonna have a really fun time editing this episode. From Maddox, we have, how do you feel about passing your death anniversary without knowing? I hate this question. I hate this question. But no, because
What
it's
is
like
wrong
no,
with
that's
you people?
no, because that's a real question. Because at some point this past year, it's like 2025, there was a day where you were probably having the time of your life, Donovan. You were probably having fun, hanging out with friends, and little did you know, that was the day that you were going to die. Like sometime in the future.
Oh, that's what he means.
And that's the thing, that's not a theoretical thing. That is like, there actually was a day in 2025, or this year, there will be a day like that. You have no idea, but one day in the future, because like we all inevitably die. But you don't know what day that's going to be. So like, it could be today. Donovan, we could be talking right now, but literally 47 or 67 years in the future, I die. I don't know. I'm losing my shit right now.
Fuck you.
Yeah, my real answer, my like non-joking answer is I don't really care. I don't really think about that, to be honest. Like, as much as I love philosophy and I love talking about philosophy, talking about such an arbitrary topic like the day you're gonna die and like how you don't know, like, you know, something like this where you have a death anniversary but you don't know when it's going to be, that's such a non-productive conversation because you're not getting anywhere talking about that. All it is.
I do plan on dying on June 7th, 2067. So
I hate you.
You know what? Every day when that passes by, I do feel a tinge of happiness knowing that I'm going to die on a beautiful day.
Donovan, can you do me a favor? I want the day I die, like if I die before you, I want you to come to my funeral, and I want you to give a speech and make a 6-7 joke at my, please. And so not only make a 6-7 joke,
ask.
but I want you to go up to the mic and be like, me and Matthew, we carried the flame together. We fought for the gospel and we carried the name. I want you to say that word for word at my funeral. Well, so this special hour had a very morbid end to it. Sorry to make everyone listening think about death like that. But you know, honestly, I think it's a fruitful conversation. Though I actually would love to have more philosophical conversations on the podcast.
We
like
have scared every viewer away.
Anyway, so Donovan, where can the people find you on the internet?
Yeah, DonovanDud on YouTube. I also have a Discord server, the Nintendo Boys. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. What about you?
Oh, sorry. I just had the biggest brain fart I've ever had in my life. I literally, even though I knew you were going to ask that,
he was thinking about his death anniversary.
Dude, it happened again.
Where can we find you other than 6 feet under?
Okay. So you can find me, MrDean44 on YouTube, or you can find me on Twitter /X, my favorite social media site. or Blue Sky. So it just depends, whichever site you're on. Or you can join my Discord server, the Dean Kingdom, just your typical Discord stuff. And yes, this is a gaming podcast, despite how this episode, it may not seem like it. I promise normally we talk about games. Bye.
Bye.